Von Doran, and welcome to the Sheldon Online Music Academy. We're filming today here at the beautiful Sheldon Theater in St. Louis, and I'm going to talk to you about jazz guitar, and specifically improvising jazz guitar. One of the things that we do as jazz guitarists in developing our musicianship skills is get to where we can navigate chord changes when we improvise. And what that means is that it's kind of literal. The chord changes from one chord to the next, and when it does, you have a different situation that you can kind of respond to, different notes you can use. And we're going to look at just going back and forth between two chords that change. And they're two pretty disparate chords, meaning they're different. We're going to make it G minor 7th and B flat minor 7th. Now, you might want to take a pad of paper and write down these notes, because this helps you manage the information we're going to be using. I'm a big fan of that, where when you're studying something this involved, that you kind of get it out of your head and onto paper, something you can look at. So while you're practicing, you've got it right there. We're going to be managing 7 notes for each chord. And with the G minor 7th, we're going to be playing the G Dorian mode. And the notes of that scale are G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F. Then we're going to go to a B flat minor 7th chord. And those notes for B flat Dorian are B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, and A flat. So let me show you what I'm going to play here. That's G minor 7th, B flat minor 7th. And I'm going to loop it here so I can have the chords going on and improvise on top of it. Bars each. Now I have these chords going on for me, and I can show you some things to do with these notes. What's happening there is that I'm keeping these notes in my head, and when the chord changes, I have this new set of notes to deal with. But if you write them out on paper and look at them, you'll notice that the 7 notes for G Dorian and the 7 notes for B flat Dorian are not totally different. They have some notes in common. For instance, the F. That's in both scales, so I can actually stay on that note when each chord changes. Another note is B flat. That note works for both chords. Another note is the C. And then we have the G, the note G. I can play it up an octave higher. So by knowing these notes that are common to each chord, I don't have to feel like I'm dealing with these notes over here and then this next group of notes, and the act of going back and forth doesn't feel so frantic. You can, again, kind of calm things down. What that leaves, those 4 notes there, that leaves a bunch of other notes that aren't in both scales, and you can use those to accentuate the differences between the chords. And that's kind of what we're doing here. We're looking at things that can sort of tie the chords together, and then we're looking at things that show that each chord is indeed different. So I'm just going to improvise here and give you some of the sounds of what I'm talking about. gives a little more sense of purpose and forward motion. You can even kind of make a game out of it. I'm going to start with the lowest note I can on the guitar, and every 2 beats, I'll do half notes. I'm going to change and just go up until I go to the highest note on the guitar. But as the chords change underneath what I'm playing, I'm going to modify to the next scale. I'll start on F here. G minor 7, G Dorian, B flat Dorian, I'll come back down, doing the same thing. G Dorian, B flat Dorian. So I just kept the notes going in one direction, ascending, and another direction, coming back down. And this is a great exercise to really know the fretboard. You got to know your note names, you got to know your scale vocabulary, and you're just toggling back and forth. So a good preparation for this kind of practice, obviously, if you can do some kind of loop or record a chord, would be to do like 10 minutes just on G minor 7th with G Dorian, and like 10 minutes of improvising over B flat minor 7th with B flat Dorian, and get used to each chord one at a time. Then put them together like this to where you have like 2 beats each, or 2 bars each, and then you get to experience the going back and forth. So you can do that with any kinds of chords, any kinds of scales. Obviously, you can take it in any direction you want. These are the kinds of things that jazz musicians work on to build up their musicianship skills, so that when they are on stage performing and they're improvising, they have it so down they can just kind of let go and let it flow out of them. That's the whole idea here. So thanks for watching. I'm Matthew Von Doran here for the Sheldon Online Music Academy.